Hello, good evening, everyone, and trust we all doing great. I welcome you guys to our weekly analysis today. Now, looking at what is happening around Iran, Israel, and the news reaching us this morning was that Donald Trump bombed, three nuclear sites in Iran, and from from the fundamental aspects, whenever there is a war going on, geographical tension or politics, any of these things, right? People tend to save their assets. And how are they able to do that? How are they going to do that? I'm sorry about that. How are they going to do that? They will look for a safe haven. Now, gold is considered as a safe haven. So, in terms of economic crisis, in times of geopolitical tension, in times of war, and all these stuffs that disturbs the economy, people tend to save their assets with gold. People tend to save their assets with gold. That's why gold is a safe haven. Okay, and now looking at what we are seeing on the chart now, this is a daily time. This is a daily time frame on XAUUSD gold. All right, let's see what we are going to get now for over a couple of, let's say, a couple of weeks now. Gold have been respecting our internal range liquidity, moving from external range liquidity to internal range liquidity, just like what we have here. We have gold respecting this internal range liquidity. We have gold respecting this one as well, although this later came back to play the other block here. And looking at this one now, we have multiple rejections. We have multiple rejections here. So I'm expecting this internal range liquidity, this daily internal range liquidity here to keep holding price. You can see that price never disrespected this zone. Okay, price came, took out this, price came, gave us a low, but failed to close below the internal range liquidity. And on Friday, price did the same thing as well, failed to close below this internal range liquidity. And we can clearly see here that price took out previous day low, which is Friday low. Price took out Friday low over here. And if you look by the left again, price aligning with our daily block, closing above our daily block. So with all these things, I'm still very, very much bullish on XAUUSD. Very, very much bullish on XAUUSD. All right. Now dropping down to the 4 hour time frame. Dropping down to the 4 hour time frame, I have to delete this. Now here on 4 hour time frame, pay attention to these guys. Here on 4 hour time frame, you can clearly see that we have a bearish order flow here, right? And now price closing strongly above this daily order block. Closing strongly above this our daily order block and also taking out Friday Thursday's low. Now we have an inversion here. We have an inversion for half our 4 hour inversion here. Okay, so dropping down to the 15 minutes time frame on XAUUSD, let's see what we're going to get from the 15 minutes time frame. Now, price might actually not come down to retest this internal range, this inversion gap here. Price might not actually come down to retest this inversion gap. We might actually see price gap up because of this news we had this weekend. I actually see price gap up to break above this high, giving us a structure shift, that's something like this to continue our bullish movement. Okay. So, but if by any means price dropped, if by any means price dropped into the zone, it's still very, very, very much valid. Still very, very, very valid. All right. Now, going back to the daily time frame again, Going back to the daily time frame, let me delete this other block and make the previous day low. First, taking out the previous day low. All right. So dropping down to the 1 hour time frame, let's see what we're going to get from the 1 hour time frame. And over here on 1 hour time frame, we can clearly see that price broke structure to the upside. Price broke structure to the upside after taking out our previous day low. After taking out our previous day low, so we have price inside this 1 hour fair value gap. You have price inside this 1 hour fair value gap, and this is a very large imbalance. Okay, this is a very, very large imbalance. I need to see if price will be able to come down into maybe the consequent encroachment of this 1 hour fair value gap here. That's the 50% of this 1 hour fair value gap. I have to mark that as well. So we have this 50% here. But here is the trick. Because of this news we got this weekend, might see a gap up. All right, we might see a gap up. Price might not actually come down to these levels that I marked. But if by any chance price breaks above this high here, that means we have a very clear bullish order flow. We have a very, very clear bullish order flow. Okay. And now I know that price dropped into this 1 hour favor look gap from here as well, but let's see from the 5 minutes. 5 minutes didn't really give a very great structure. 5 minutes didn't really give a very good structure. So I'll have to wait. I'll have to wait to see a very clear bullish order flow on XAUUSD. I'm expecting a gap up on gold. I'm expecting a gap up on gold price to break above this 1 hour external range liquidity. And we have, of course, we have this 4 hour inversion here and also 4 hour fair value gap here. All right. Everything we are seeing on the chart right now is giving us a good bullish structure. It's giving us a very good bullish structure on XAUUSD. And let's see if we're able to recover those losses we had last week. I'm very, very confident that this week is going to be a very good week for everyone in this group. I'm very, very, very positive on that. Okay. So now looking at GBPUSD, just like I showed you guys this morning on WhatsApp group, looking at GBPUSD, have to start to mark. So GBPUSD is actually the one I'll be taking the risk on GBPUSD. I'll be taking the risk on GBPUSD because the structure is very, very clear on GBPUSD. Okay, now starting from the weekly time frame, yeah. Starting from the weekly time frame, we can clearly see this very clear bullish order flow on GBPUSD. Very clean bullish order flow, right? Price respecting our internal range liquidity, taking out the external range liquidity, coming back for the internal range liquidity. Now, I was really, really pained on Saturday, either Saturday or Friday when I was doing my back test. I was really, really pained because I saw how price have been respecting this structure, and there I am, struggling with gold, trying to get a clear entry on gold, and gold keeps hitting me all the time last week and last 2 weeks. Whereas we have a free money here on GBPUSD. I was really, really pained about that. I'm not gonna lie. So here on GBPUSD, we can clearly see that price respecting all the internal range liquidities. Price respecting all the internal range liquidities, and we have this one. We have this one. So we have this external range liquidity here to look at. I have this external range liquidity here as our drawn liquidity. As our drawn liquidity going into this new week. So dropping down to the 4-hour time frame, let's see what we're going to get from the 4-hour time frame. And the structure is very, very clear here on 4-hour time frame. Very, very clear. Okay, we have price weekly time frame, weekly fair value gap holding price, and dropping down to the 4-hour, we have this liquidity sweep, which is 4-hour reaction. We have this 4-hour reaction here. And we have our 4-hour internal range liquidity.
Just record screen. Whatever is I know they sabi do that thing. Yeah, man.
And please, if you're just joining the call now, kindly mute, please. So price is currently on our 4-hour internal range liquidity. And as we can see here, price didn't close below this internal range liquidity, which means price is strongly respecting this, and price never disrespected that. So coming down to the 15 minutes time frame, let's see what we're going to get from the 15 minutes time frame. Okay, we have this breaker block here. We have this breaker block here, and price closing above this candle. Price closing above this candle will give us a clean setup for the buys on GBPUSD, because starting from the weekly, we have a very clean bullish order flow. We have a very clean bullish order flow, and here on 4 hours we have a change of character or a 4-hour reaction confirming the weekly order flow. Okay, and dropping down to 15 minutes time frame, we want to see price closing above this breakout block here to give us something like this. And we are going for our 4-hour drawn liquidity, which is our 4-hour external range liquidity here. Which is this 4-hour external range liquidity. Okay, so looking at EURUSD, on Friday, I took a buy on EURUSD on Friday. On Friday, right? Price actually came down, reversing, closing above it. So I want to see a continuation of this buy on EURUSD to continue. Okay, now from the daily time frame. Price clearly respecting this daily internal range liquidity, and coming to the weekly time frame, price respecting our weekly order flow. We have price respecting this internal range liquidity here on EU. We have this on EU, and we have these two. So here on the weekly, price took out this Price took out this external range liquidity, and we all know how price moves from external range liquidity to internal range liquidity, and from internal range liquidity to external range liquidity. So coming back to the daily time frame, right? Price took out this external range liquidity here and came back for the internal range liquidity. So I'm expecting to see a continuation of this bullish movement or a continuation of this bullish order flow, at least until we take out this high resting above here. Until we take out this high resting above here, external back to internal range, from internal range back to external range liquidity. So these are the three pairs I'm looking at going into this week, into this new trading week. XAU very, very much bullish on XAUUSD, bullish on GBPUSD, and also bullish on GBPUSD, bullish on EURUSD. All right. Now I'm expecting dollar, if from the statements Iranian government made, I saw on Twitter, they say they are going to retaliate. So they are going to retaliate. So this is creating tension in America. This is creating tension for investors because no one knows what exactly is going to happen. They are just speculating, but the weight of that comment that the Iranian leader made, that speech has a very, very strong weight, and is going to down on investors, making them scared because they don't want to lose their funds, and in doing that they will be going for a safe haven. They will be going for a safe haven, which is XAUUSD or any JPY pairs, because JPY is also considered as a safe haven. They will either go for XAUUSD or go for JPY pairs to save their assets. All right. So let's look over the fundamentals and see what we're expecting this week. So on Monday, around 8:15 a.m., we have Euro Flash Manufacturing PMI, and 8:30 we have Euro as well, German. 9:30 we have GBP Flash PMI, and around 2:45 we have news coming out for USD, the same manufacturing PMI. And on Tuesday we have Powell testifying. This is a very high impact news. Jerome Powell, who happens to be the Fed chairman. And on Wednesday, we also have Powell testifying 3 p.m. on Wednesday. And on Thursday, we have unemployment claims, which is being released every Thursday. Friday, we have core PCE. So looking at the fundamental news we are going to see, for me, I see there will be a lot of volatility in the market this week. There'll be a lot of volatility in the market this week because from Monday to Friday, we have red folders. From Monday to Friday, we have a whole lot of red folders. So, guys, brace up, brace up, brace up. This is going to be an exciting week for everybody. This is going to be an exciting week for everybody. I'm really, really positive about this. Okay, I'm really, really positive about this. We are going to recover all the money we lost last week and last 2 weeks. And this is also to show you, this is also to tell you guys that nobody is perfect in this industry. All right, your system might be working, will give you 10 straight wins, okay, but that doesn't mean you won't go through a losing streak. That doesn't mean you won't go through a losing streak, and that is where your risk management comes in. That is where your risk management comes in. All right. I'm losing. I never lost my account. My account is still intact. All the accounts I'm trading, they are still intact. Not even 5% down. Not even 5% down. There are some traders who, if they lose the first day, their first trade, they will try to revenge, go in again, definitely lose again, trying to revenge. Before you know it, they've gone 5% of their account, and before you know it, account is gone. All right. So in situations like this, the only thing that is going to keep you going is your risk management. The only thing that is going to keep you going is your risk management, which that's why I'm still surviving now. That's why I'm still surviving. Last 2 weeks, we all lost some money. Last week, we lost another one. So this week, definitely, we are recovering everything we lost. All right. So if you have any question, kindly ask your question. Let's look at it together. Okay.
Can you check Nasdaq and S&P 500, boss?
I can't remember the last time I
Good
opened
evening.
that. Good evening. I can't remember the last time I opened that. S&P mini. So NAS 100 from the daily time frame. I'm not seeing anything visible on the daily time frame. So let's look at the weekly time frame. Here on weekly time frame again, I'm not really seeing anything. So dropping down to lower time frame 4 hours. Okay. So here on 4 hour, we have this external range liquidity here being taken out. So price coming back to react off this opening gap here. To react off this opening gap. Opening gap here. So down in 15 minutes. Let's see what we're going to get from the 15 minutes. Okay. We have this lower time frame LQ grab. Okay. So so a structure shift here. A structure shift here will be needed. All right. But uh, I'm not really expecting stocks NAS 100, S&P 500, US 30 to pump this week because of this tension, because investors are very, very scared. Investors are very, very scared. They don't know what is going to happen. But, I can't say much about this until we see how all these things are going to react off the chart. But from what we are seeing here, we have this turtle soup here aligning on the daily gap, on the 4 hour gap, this turtle soup. So we might still see a bullish movement on XA on NAS 100 in the coming week. Okay, Lucky.
Yeah,
Do you
can hear
hear
you.
You heard my explanation, right?
Yes, yes, I'm getting. Yes,
Okay.
boss.
So let's see.
Yes, boss. Thanks, boss.
You're welcome. So we have a couple of hours for the market to open. This is not S&P 500. Future E-mini.
It's 500.
For me, I'm not seeing anything here. I'm not seeing any
Okay,
clear. I'm not seeing any clear thing. An XPS. I'm not seeing any clear thing here. So do we have any other
okay.
question? You're welcome. Do you have any other question?
Sir, please, good evening.
Good evening.
Please, are you going to drop the recorded
Yeah,
this
sure.
in the group, sir, please?
Yes.
Okay. Then again, sir, please, can you help me check volatility 75?
No, volatility 75 has their own different trading view. It's not what I can do here now.
Okay, okay.
Uh, so do you have any other question? Okay, so in the absence of no other question, when the video is done converting, I'll drop to the group I'll drop to the group. All right. I'm wishing everybody on this
Okay.
call a profitable week ahead.
And you too.
All right. Good night,
Us,
everyone.
profitable week. More peeps.
All peeps. All right.
Good
Bye,
night, sir.
everyone. Good night.